That's pretty good, Nat. Thank you, Belinda. Thank you for the feedback. I'm hoping the sound is okay. I had months on end when my Facebook Lives were fine. And then, I don't know what's happened. Maybe I've kind of relaxed too much and thought, oh, actually, perhaps this isn't as hard to do as I thought it was to start with. What do you think? Okay, so this is my final card. So I have really played around with the sketch on this. Thank you, Belinda. Sound is good. Fantastic. Excellent. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you very much for telling me everything is good. Hooray. So this time my narrow strip here has become wider and I've actually made it full length. My piece here, although I have stayed with a rectangle, it's much wider. And I have added a layer behind it just to give me some contrast where it lays over this patterned paper here. And then I've added a little sentiment raised up there. Now I had planned on making a card where this was a circle, but I don't know if you find this when you're designing cards. Sometimes it's like the design takes on a life of its own and it doesn't matter what you had planned on, it just doesn't seem to go that way. So this is what I came up with, because this is just what it wanted to be. All right, so I've got some of the lovely Daffodil Afternoon paper for this one. Both of these designs are from the same pack. This one had a lot of Evening Evergreen in the foliage, so that's what I picked for my card base. But this one had quite a lot of Mossy Meadow, so I've gone with Mossy Meadow for my contrast. So this is the back of that one. It's a shame to cover it up. I love this. It's very vintage. It really appeals to me. There we are. And this one I have cut down very slightly, so I've just got that narrow border all the way around. So it kind of coordinates with the narrow border on this one. So Sandy has this paper, and then she came clean and she said she's actually got 2 packs of it. That's okay, Sandy. It was free. And it's beautiful. It's lovely for spring birthday cards. It's lovely for Easter cards. Oops, I just dropped that, so I'm going to have to do something about that glue in a sec. There we are. So can you see I dropped my layer, but that's all right. I should get my glue eraser out in just a moment. I need to let that dry and then I'll be able to get rid of it. So let's do the sentiment. So I'm going to use this thank you, which comes from this set, Celebrating You. This is in the new catalogue. As you can see, I didn't have anything like enough sentiments. I needed more. There is method in my madness, actually. I mean, first of all, they're all different. And this has got things like Lots of Love. I really liked that. Just for You. It's got Happy Anniversary. I needed a Happy Easter. But also where I run classes, you know, if I'm doing 6 cards and there's 3 birthday cards, then I need 3 different stamps that have got happy birthday on them or whatever. So it's handy to have several sets from my point of view, but they are all different. They've all got a different kind of feel to them. So I'm sorry if my head is in the shot, but there we go. So I've used Mossy Meadow ink. I'm using very vanilla here rather than white, because that tones really nicely with the paper. The kind of the neutral in the paper is vanilla rather than white. So I've just cut that down. I've got a piece of Mossy Meadow to stick it on here. Belinda's saying that she's got 3 packs of the daffodil paper. Oh, and she's also been very reassuring. Thank you, Belinda. She says it's not just me having technical problems. She's heard about several folk having problems with Facebook Live in different circumstances. Facebook tweaks its algorithms and is notorious for not telling anyone. It's also not the most stable photographic software platform anyway. Thank you, Belinda. That makes me feel slightly less incompetent. And as Sandy says, when Facebook works, it's brilliant. When it's having a moment, it's a nightmare. Yes. They have been, the last, I don't know, 3 to 6 months, Facebook have been constantly updating, tweaking and testing. They're rolling out various things they're testing, and they don't tell you when they're going to make a change, and they don't make that change for everybody. So that can also make it difficult to try and get help. You know, so obviously I know people that do Facebook Lives. If I have a problem I can't fix, I reach out to them. But some of them are not having the same, they don't get the same buttons showing that I do, or they're just not seeing what I'm seeing. So that can make it quite tricky. But there we go. Gotta love it. Okay, so I kind of audition sentiments, but here I think this is going to look good because I've got quite a lot of colour in the background. So I've got a good contrast for that just there. So let's pop that there. Sandy says if Belinda's got 3 packs of the paper, she'd better order 2 more. All right, I'm just going to get rid of this glue that's gone over the edge. So this is an eraser made of crepe rubber. If you've ever had crepe soled shoes, it's the same stuff. And because this is a rubber-based glue, when you rub over it, just going in one direction, picking it up, going back, this rubber-based glue will just roll off. Now, we used to sell these erasers, and they're not in the catalogue anymore. I think because they last for years and years and years, and probably they were taking up space in the catalogue where there could have been something else, and not many were getting sold each year, because once you've got one you don't need another one for a decade. You can get them on eBay. I bought mine from eBay when my original Stampin' Up one finally ran out. You'll find that the edges get really grungy over time and horrible, and then you just need a really strong pair of scissors and just cut the edge off. So over time your eraser gets smaller and smaller, and when it's too small to hold you need a new one. Okay, so that's my card front. Really, Sandy? Sandy says apparently mayonnaise is good for removing glues, etc., but it might make a mess of the card. I haven't heard that before, Sandy. I'm guessing it's the oil in it that dissolves the adhesive in some ways, but you are right. I'm not going to try that on my card. Okay, and once again I've just got a thin strip of paper, just a little off cut, to pop on the edge just to brighten up the inside a little bit. Sandy's saying yes, it is the oil in the mayonnaise. Okay, I've now got glue all over my grid paper. Let's get rid of that before I glue this to my worktop, because that would just be the icing on the cake this afternoon, wouldn't it? There we go. So when I upload this to YouTube, I will be stitching together 3 bits of video and trying to cut out all the terrible bits. All the bits where I'm saying, how's that? Is that any better? Oh no, it's not. Anybody know what to do? I'll be cutting all those bits out. So maybe we'll get a better video appearing on YouTube than the experience you've had this afternoon. But thank you so much for sticking with me. It's been a day, hasn't it? Okay, so those are those 2 cards then. So the same as each other, but not the same. I think it's interesting how the different patterns of paper make, for me anyway, make the dimensions look different as an optical illusion. But this piece of patterned paper to me looks bigger than that one, and it's because there's so much white space on this and so much colour on that one. So Belinda's saying yes. Belinda placed big orders, so she got most of what's in the Celebration brochure. And Stampin' Up do want to give it to you. Yes, indeed. They won't let you finish your order if you have earned Celebration items. You do have to put them on there. Don't worry, Sandy. Honestly, I Google how to stitch videos together. With any luck, I should be able to do it inside of Facebook. I don't edit my videos. When I do teaching videos, I don't edit them for the simple reason that I don't know how. I am a crafter. I am not a videographer. I am not a filmmaker. So I try very hard to make my teaching clear, but I'd rather be stamping than learning how to edit videos. It is on my list. It's on my long list of things I need to learn. But every time it gets near the top, I move it back down because it doesn't excite me. So I have learned how to stitch bits of video together, and I have learned how to cut sections out of the beginning or the end, which is, I promise you, if I can do it, it's fairly straightforward, although I do have to look up how to do it every time because I don't do it very often. But don't panic about that yet. So far, the feedback I get on my real-time videos is positive. Nobody has, at least yet, said to me, I really wish you'd edited that video. I didn't like seeing you make that mistake or whatever. So if I make a mistake, you see me make a mistake and you see me fix it in real time. And to be honest, I think that's what crafting is, isn't it? I'm not perfect. I make mistakes all the time. I also mess up with my technology, as you've seen today. But somehow we get it together, don't we? All right, so that's my final card. Let me put on here the 3 that I've made with you this afternoon, all from that one sketch. Try and clear around it a little bit so you can just see the cards. So I'm very pleased with those. Along with my examples, I've now got 6 cards to add. I don't know if anybody was actually crafting along with me. I think I asked, did I ask that at the beginning? I'm not even sure I remember to ask at the beginning. Oh, thank you, Sandy. It's much more humour when I have to overcome technical issues. It makes the class fun. I'm so pleased to have been entertaining. All right, so now I am intentionally going to move the camera up. I will cover you over this time because, frankly, there's been enough moving pictures, I think, for one day. Okay, let's see if I'm there. I think I am just about. Thank you, Belinda. Belinda's being very kind about the humour in my videos too. The humour every time I make a mistake. Thank you. Well, I'm me. I make plenty of mistakes. I had to learn when we went into lockdown. It was either close my business or learn how to do something online. So I've learnt to do enough. I am learning all the time, but it's so complicated technology and it constantly changes. So you're having to relearn and relearn. And so I just focus on being able to do the basics. Today has not been best live video, but as I say, if it's infuriated you and if you've given up and you've come back to watch it, I'm hoping if you're watching this on the replay that what you're watching is one video with all the bits stitched together. So although there might be the odd jerk in it, I'm hoping that it will be better than the live version was, but we have had a laugh at least. So you're very welcome, Sandy. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye to everybody. It's the end for today. Thank you so much for sticking with me if you have. I am so grateful. I will be back here next Friday at 2 o'clock. I'm going to be using the Flowering Fields suite. That's the one with the tulips and the windmills. I did a little bit on that during my launch week, was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? And I'll be showing you the new suite sampler that includes that as well. Whatever you're doing and wherever you are, I hope you have a lovely weekend. Wrap up warm. I'm sure your thermals are out by now. And I will look forward to seeing you again next week. So thanks ever so much and bye-bye.